Howdy folks. Today's soap, I believe is pronounced Zagara Gelsomino. I know I butchered the heck out of that. That's what it looks like on the inside there. The scent notes are supposed to be jasmine and orange blossom. I don't know for sure. Anyhow, it didn't take too much pressure to put your finger in it. It smells great. Definitely for this time of year, at least in my opinion, when things are blooming and starting to come back out from the being dormant over the winter. Yeah, this one smells pretty good. I couldn't tell you why. Opened up the cabinet. This one jumped out at me using Brut afterwards. The blade I'm using in my shaver today is a Feather Pro, and this came by the way of a comment on my YouTube channel, and I think you should be able to see that blade in there. Typically, you know, you put a DE blade in here, and it doesn't go the full length of this right here. Usually stops short at each end. But with a feather blade, now this is not designed necessarily to take a feather blade, so if you try this, it may take a time or two to get it all lined up, but it goes the full length. And the shave I get with this blade is far different than what I get with a DE blade. Much different. I like the idea of going the full length. To me, it just makes far more sense. Not only that does it make sense, but the shave's far different than what I get with a DE blade. It's a really nice shave. I've already put a hot towel to the face and some bloom water, and I no more put that bloom water up to my face, and it started to lather just that quick. Pretty nice. I've got it whipped up here in my bowl. Brush I'm using came by the way of Green Country razors. It's got a badger knot in there, and I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Kind of excited because this will be the third shave with this blade in my shavette, and like I say, the shave is so much different than with the DE blade. It's almost as if I got a different shaver altogether. If I remember right, the gentleman that made the suggestion put the link to the thread from a while back where somebody else had tried this. If I remember right, it was Stella Blade. And I really do appreciate the comment and the tip. I had thought of, you know, putting the Persona mini hair shaper in a shavette, but not a feather. And this one here fits darn near perfect. You'd almost think that it was made for it, but it was never suggested that that would be the recommended blade for it. Now this shaver here is a shavette. It's got two posts inside, just like most of them do. As far as I know, it bumps up to the two posts and stops, but I'm not 100% sure because it took me a couple of tries to get it in there, at least where I thought it was right. Pass number one with the grain. I don't know how many folks have been keeping up with the single edge razors. It seems like a number of folks are coming out with new ones. Kind of puts a smile on my face because I enjoy the single edge razors. you almost get the impression it's like a race, because a number of them seem to come out within the past 30, 60 days, announcing what they're coming out with and showing their prototypes and whatnot. I think that's pretty cool. It's good to see folks do that. In my opinion, my single edge razors, I get good shaves with them. I enjoy them. They're inexpensive. You can pick them up for, well, I picked up one here recently for just over $11, including shipping, and had got the case with it too. I'll show you here in a moment. Really nice shaver. For that kind of price, you can talk about a vintage shaver, complete with case. Darn good buy. It'll be interesting to see what the price point are on all these shavers coming out. I'm just like anybody else. I enjoy a new razor just as much as anybody else, especially something like this right here. Not that this is new by any means, but new to me. And no, I've had this one for a while, but what I'm saying is that, you know, when you get a new razor, how you feel. But face it, the vintage ones they're pretty reasonable. Granted, the newer ones might look a lot better. We'll see if they shave any better. In my opinion, I think that's where Supply got their injector right, with the where you swap out the plates. My experience with it is that pretty close to whatever shave you want to get, you're going to be able to get with it. They're sensitive one. It's a great one to start out with for somebody just starting out shaving. Very smooth, comfortable shave, I thought. At least that was my experience. Great shaver. Something that should be able, that, you know, the way it was designed, made, last you a lifetime. And then some. This soap, it doesn't take much to provide a lather. Slickness, I can smell it. My nose is working today. It's kind of nice sometimes when it's working. As long as the smells are pleasant, right? Usually scents that relate to spring, with my nose, usually a lot of times doesn't necessarily agree with it. It's like, you know, you go to mow the grass and you can smell the fresh cut grass. But in some cases, especially if you're traveling down the road, number of weeds I smell also, and then generally that's when I start sneezing and carrying on. Really nice stuff. Can't begin to pronounce it, so everybody usually shortens it up to TFS. It's been around since looks like 1945. I've got quite a few of their soaps. Really like them. For those that are wondering, I wear bifocals, and believe it or not, what I get back here with my bifocals and whatnot, it's nothing but a blur. So used to looking at things that are blurred, but sometimes it's interesting when it comes to shaving. I think the next blade I'll try in this this shaver here, this shavette, I think I'm going to try the Feather Super. Super usually is the one I go with, but I'm trying to work through what I got left of the Pros, and maybe, just maybe, I'll find a shaver that it works well with. This is the third shave on this blade, and for me, I can kind of tell on an against the grain pass. I seem to get better shaves out of the Supers. I know for some that might be a little bit aggressive, but in between the Pros and the Supers, that's the only ones I've tried so far. We've gotten quite a bit of rain here in Oklahoma. Around here they refer to as green country. Got a flash flood watch going on. It's good to have the rain. Wish it spread out a little bit though. Getting it all in a few days usually doesn't work too well. I have to say, with shaving with the shavette, for those that are used to watching a straight razor, that is one thing that's nice about having a blade that's a little smaller. In my opinion, not near as prone to catch your ear or anything like that. Just seems to be easier to maneuver. I do get a few hairs way up here, is the reason why I go that high. I'm not aiming to poke myself in the eye. If you're just starting out on something like this, it's not a speed test or how fast you progress. Definitely is recommended to start slow, and not only that, the nice thing about a shavette is you can practice without a blade in there, so that is a plus for a shavette. Need any suggestions? Matter of fact, Shavette World on the Facebook group, a gentleman asked about, he was looking for suggestions on how to get a son started. And considering that I have set up one for my oldest stepson and my oldest son, the way I look at it is I start out with a very smooth shaver. So even a Edwin Jagger or a Gillette Tech, something that you know that they can start with that's not real aggressive. You need something pretty mild, because you don't want to run them off getting bad shaves like I did when I first started, where I hated it. Where it's a little bit more enjoyable, where the shave itself is comfortable, and get them involved with the scents, because that's something that's not easy to do. Face it, nowadays they've got a lot of distractions, video games, computers. Got just a little bit of stinging right here. Really good shave. And it's typical for me to get red there. Ever since I shaved off my beard, it's always been that way. And that usually is red almost all the time. But the only place I got any stinging is right there, which I'm not sure why. Sometimes I wonder if I just get a little bit too much pressure on it. Really good shave though. Got Thayer's Witch Hazel today. Thinking about here pretty soon about switching it up and saving my aloe for the winter months when when the skin has a tendency to get a little bit dry. Still got some Humphreys I can use. I put it on my head because it seems to help out the skin on top since it does get abused up there. But my head seemed like almost on a regular basis. Take off the layer skin area so often. Brut. So if you're interested in trying, like I did, different blades that weren't necessarily designed in a shavette, just got to be careful. I can say that clamp on there is pretty darn tight. I've not had any problems out of that clamp. In other words, getting weak, not holding like it usually did when it was new. Appreciate everybody watching. I know I don't really say much about it, but I do appreciate the comments, the likes. Site's up over 200 now. Never even thought it would get this high. I really appreciate everybody watching. Got any comments, suggestions, by all means please leave them. I can use all the help I can get. Smooth shaves to you.